Hello, it's Glenn Mackintosh again, weight management psychologist, and I'd like to just give you a few simple ideas on how to transcend emotional eating. Some of the biggest issues that predict weight regain are black and white thinking, so a really rigid dieting approach, emotional eating, which is using food to deal with certain emotions, and body image issues. Either not reaching a weight that you're most comfortable with or having a really difficult time all the way down to that weight because you're overly critical of your body. Today I wanted to talk with you about emotional eating and a simple process for overcoming emotional eating. When we talk about emotional eating, what we're really talking about is using food to deal with uncomfortable emotions. So if you use food to celebrate, to enjoy in the company of other people, yes, you might overeat that food, but that's not what a psychologist would put in the category of emotional eating. In fact, in a balanced eating plan, we actually want you to enjoy food with other people, enjoy food just because you enjoy food. And we want to make that okay in reasonable amounts at sort of sensible times enough for you to reach your goals. But one of the real killers of a long-term weight management process is if you do a lot of eating to help you deal with uncomfortable feelings like stress, depression, anger, any of the feelings that you don't like. So basically, you can consider that if you think about your uncomfortable feelings as like existing in a balloon, and if you have some work stress, that work stress blows the balloon up, or if you have some type of a relationship worry, it blows that balloon up, and you think of all of those uncomfortable feelings existing in a balloon. Of course, at some stage, you need to reduce that discomfort. You need a let-off valve. And for a lot of the people that I see, food is a big let-off valve. Now, the problem is that if there's a little hole here at the end of the balloon that lets off some of that stress through eating, it's like it goes into a little straw that goes straight back into the balloon. So you do get like a temporary release of the pressure. You might feel a bit calm, take your mind off things for a short period of time. But what most of my clients find is that shortly after that, you experience the same sort of problem. The problem hasn't resolved itself through the eating, but now you're just a little bit guilty or annoyed with yourself that you haven't eaten in the way that you really wanted to. So you can think of it like a sort of a let-off valve that lets out some of that pressure, but then quickly builds it straight back up again. And one of my clients described it very well a few years ago. They said it's like emotional eating is like double dipping on negative emotions. So I suppose the first step to really transcending emotional eating is recognizing not only that, of course, it's an unhelpful thing to do from a weight management perspective and a health perspective, but that it's actually quite ineffective. And if you can get that out of today's session, then I think that's a really big win. Because naturally, we want to feel better. And if you can realize that food is not the answer, then you're likely to find a whole bunch of other ways to feel better. Different releases from that balloon, different let-off valves that you create and develop that help you really deal with that stress or help you really release yourself from that anger or lift your mood from that depression. So there are a whole range of mental, emotional and behavioural strategies that are really effective. Things like talking to people or having a glass of water or getting outside in the fresh air or practicing positive thinking or meditation. There are hundreds of different, what I call more marvellous methods to manage your moods. But I think if you can get from today that for you and sort of search your experience and check, those times when you have done some emotional eating, has it really helped you? Have you really felt better afterwards? Has it resolved the problem? And if the answer is no, I'd encourage you to kind of reflect on the ineffectiveness of that emotional eating, like double dipping on negative emotions, and then search for better ways to manage those uncomfortable feelings that we all experience.
people